Hi, I'm Danny Knopp, my wife Jamie Knopp. We met Brad through our mutual friends that live across the street. Funny enough, he did actually buy a house we liked a couple of years ago. And in a small world turn of events, we played baseball back in 4th grade, so that's a pretty
Such
cool
a
little
small
world.
I'm Jamie. Obviously, I'm married to Danny, and we know Brad because he moved in across the street from my best friend. Our number one was that our friends recommended you so highly, and the thoroughness that we knew you would do. But number two, probably being that you lived in a neighborhood that we knew we loved. So we knew you knew the community, we knew you knew the houses that would be coming on the market and the area really well. And then when it comes time to buy, you knew what was realistic. So that was big for us.
And I would just add on that, you know, in talking with our friends, we just felt a sense of confidence in Brad and Compass, just in the fact that it wasn't listing our home. They were going to give us recommendations on things to help make sure the home went for top dollar, which for us obviously was a huge thing and did happen.
So for me, I would say we have young kids, and I was stressed out about listing their house in a pandemic, just having people come through my home to begin with, but then having to get it ready and having to be out of the house. And the seamlessness that you made it, that Brad made it for us, was very concise. He had contractors in to fix the things we needed to fix very quickly. And then he only had us out of the house for a day and a half, I think, total for showings before we were done and under contract, which is unheard of and insane, but also amazing because my kids are crazy.
Yes, that's very important.
And keeping toys off the floor is impossible.
Yeah, and I would say with the day and a half out, like I think there was just this stress of, will the house sell, won't it, what are we gonna do, what's the weekend look like, and the fact that 4 offers came in just immediately took that entire stress, just lifted and anxiety right off of our shoulders, and so that was just amazing for us. And then, you know, at that point it was really learning through Brad what, you know, the market had to offer in terms of what should we do to take the best offer, and just learning about what an escalation clause was, or how to work through a buyer, their realtor, and having confidence that when we did accept, that they would actually close at the end of the day. And so that was just amazing for us.
Yeah, I think that was also a really good point because we had a lot of questions, and I feel like I had a lot of questions of, it's not my area of expertise, so things they were asking for, I was going, I don't know if that's important or not. So to be able to have a concise answer was huge. You were very personable. But I also think there were a lot of personal touches in there. A minute ago we were talking about the amount of contractors and names and numbers you were able to provide us with, and people that we thoroughly enjoyed working with. So I think the context that you were able to provide on top of you just being a genuine person were very helpful. And then I think the accessibility of it as well. You were always readily available to us to answer questions, to help us through the process, and it didn't stress me out like I thought it would, which is good.
I just add on that, you know, for us, there were just so many things that I think we have different views on how we wanted to prepare the house, and honestly, you came in even with a different perspective, and I think that helped us gain a lot of clarity just in terms of, we wanted to put the best foot forward and get our house off the market as quickly as possible. So we really did appreciate all of the recommendations that came from you, your contractors, the folks you brought in to help photograph our house even, to make sure that it put its best foot forward. And it was just great to get all of that done up front and be ready to go, and obviously everything worked out at the end of the day.
He nicely just said that you marry your opposite and you mediated for us. That's exactly what he just said.
That's right.
I would say you did an amazing job there. Personally, I feel like we have been incredibly cautious throughout all of this because we have a lot of family members that we're worried about and being around, and obviously young kids. And the idea of having people come through my home just gave me a lot of anxiety, not knowing. And preparing for, you know, the first week when we were on the market, you had masks, you had foot covers, you had hand sanitizer all over our home. You had appointments scheduled for us. You never once had somebody pop in on us that wasn't announced. And they were always really kind to our home, respectful of it, which is really great.
And in finding
it was a lot of work.
It was. I would say the newest and coolest experience for us was really buying off market, right? Having that intel in Milton from Brad and Compass and all of the surrounding parties that really helped us get in and understand how to navigate that, right? I don't think either of us had any idea what we would do going into a bidding situation or even trying to find the house we wanted. You see pictures, and relying on Brad to really get us in the home and find one that felt like home. I think that for us was the biggest sense of relief in walking in and just knowing we could raise our kids here.
Right.
And then Brad really handling everything from that standpoint, because I have to imagine had we tried to do it on our own or with another realtor, we would not have been successful.
I would agree with that. I think I had a lot of anxiety around being homeless, for lack of a better word. I mean, after we sold our house, of the way the market is, not being able to get into a home that we loved and having to settle, and I was very worried about that because I feel like we settled with our last home in terms of the area that we wanted, which I think was primarily our reason for wanting to move. We wanted a different community for our kids and for us, and finding that community was huge. And so I think your patience with us about finding the right fit was huge on that side of it. But then also, like you said, navigating some things like a temporary occupancy for us so that we could get the house we wanted. An off-market find was huge because we were worried about a bidding war. And the way the market is right now, we could find a house that we love and then it go into a bidding war and us not be able to afford it. So that was a big deal to us. And it was seamless.
I would say Brad made the process very easy. Like, if I really had to echo anything that we've learned in working with Brad versus other realtors in the past, everything was seamless, everything was easy. He had the answer to every question that we didn't even know we had walking into the process, and so that was just amazing for us.
I would say knowledgeable